Man, oh man, Nebraska just released their first depth chart of the year, and it was shocking to many. A couple surprise breakout players who people weren't expecting to start, who ended up getting the nod, a couple of veterans who have been benched, and so much more. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my instant reaction. We're going to go over the entire thing, my hot takes, whether or not this team is actually good enough to win 8, 9, 10 games, and everything else you need to know. So really quick, if you have not watched my massive Nebraska recruiting update from earlier today, make sure to do that after you watch this video. It will be linked in the description. It was a big one. And also, we are 20 subscribers away from 13,000. If you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Listen, we are 6 days away until kickoff, and this is the only place where you can get daily content talking Huskers. It's no brainer. It takes 2 seconds. Join the family. Help us at 13K. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. Let's get things started with Nebraska's depth chart that was released earlier today. It was shocking to many, including myself. Now, we'll start off with the quarterbacks. We'll go over the entire offense, the entire defense, and then we'll get to special teams at the very end because that had a couple wrinkles in as well that I was not expecting. So let's go over to quarterback first. Of course, our starter is not a surprise. It's not a shock. Dylan Raiola is that guy for the Huskers. But the big surprise is who our quarterback 2 is. And this is somebody that I've been hyping up over these past couple weeks. I've told you guys that in practice, in fall camp, they believe that TJ Lateef is going to be quarterback 2. Now, of course, a couple people scoffed at that. They said Jalyn Gramstad's the veteran. He's somebody who's proven at, NAIA football and high school football. But that is not the case. TJ Lateef is now Nebraska's quarterback 2, and it's simply because they believe that TJ gives them the best chance to win, that if Dylan, God forbid, were to go down with TJ's legs, with his winning ability, with his clutch ability, that he's going to bring them to a victory. So I'm not shocked by that with everything that we heard in fall ball. Man, he was balling out. And also, I just want to take this moment to appreciate TJ Lateef. He is a true freshman quarterback, and the jump that he made from spring ball, which I saw him at the spring game, he wasn't very good, to now is absolutely astronomical. This summer, he was dialing, he was putting in the work every single day to play right away. So again, credit to TJ Lateef. Not many true freshman quarterbacks do that, and he's looking very good for the Huskers. And then Jalyn Gramstad is our quarterback 3. All right, now to running back. No surprise here. We have Emmett Johnson as our starter, Mekhi running back 2, Isaiah Mozee running back 3, and then Kwinten Ives, who is still a little bit banged up with his hamstring, is running back 4. Now, nothing too shocking there. Kwinten Ives was running back 2 in the spring. They hyped him up, but again, you just got to stay on the field. He got injured in the spring. He got injured again in the fall. So just really unfortunate for him there. But those are really the 4 running backs who are going to play this year for Nebraska. Kenneth Williams might get in the mix later on. Could even see Connor Booth. Jamarion Parker's out for the year, but not too shocking there. All right, let's go over to the wide receiver position. Of course, our starters are not surprised either because we've known this since they transferred in Nebraska. You got Jacory Barney, you got Dane, and you got Nyziah Hunter. Okay, nobody should be surprised. But after that, there are definitely some wrinkles. Now, you got Janiran on the second string. You got Quinn Clark, who's had a really good fall ball as your second string wide receiver. And then you have Cortez Mills, who is officially in the 2 deep for the Huskers. So it's pretty much confirmed that he's not going to redshirt for Nebraska. He's had a very good fall ball. And then again, you look at the rest of these wide receivers. You got Keelan Smith, who played well. And you also got Jeremiah Jones, who we reported on the channel not too long ago, will not redshirt as well, just with how he's playing. With his athletic upside, he's not the most polished guy in the world. Jeremiah Jones, the route running is not there just yet. The hands is not there just yet. But with how athletically gifted he is, again, 6'4", runs a 4.4, is 225 pounds, it's impossible for them to keep him off the field. They're just going to try to get him involved any way they can. And then going over to tight end, our starter is Luke Lindemeyer. It's been that way since the spring, not too shocking. But then you have our first or on the depth chart. You have Heinrich Haarberg or Carter Nelson. Now, I think it will be probably Carter Nelson by the time we get to fall camp, by the time we get to Cincinnati, just because he's a little bit more experienced. Again, he played well when he was in the ball game last year. Heinrich Haarberg, he's had a decent fall camp, but he hasn't really broke out to the way that we thought he was. So it really just comes down to blocking. Like, which one of those guys can block at a higher level? They're probably going to get the nod at tight end 2, but it's not shocking to anybody really that Luke Lindemeyer is tight end 1. All right, let's get to the offensive line because that was honestly the big conversational point. What's going on at left tackle? What's going on at right tackle? We'll go from left to right. At left tackle, you have 2 ors. You have Gunnar Gatula or Turner Corcoran or Elijah Pritchett. Now, it was said today by Matt Rhule at his press conference that when they play Cincinnati in 6 days, Elijah Pritchett will not be starting. That's guaranteed. It's off the table. So he said that today, so you can pretty much say that Elijah Pritchett won't start. So it's either Gunnar Gatula or Turner Corcoran, and again, it's going to be Gunnar Gatula. We reported that on the channel not too long ago. So Gunnar Gatula will be our left tackle starter. The reason why they're not revealing this to the public necessarily is just because from a game planning standpoint, it's a little bit of an advantage, but Yeah, Gunnar Gatula will be that guy for Nebraska. Again, I think Elijah Pritchett will be our swing tackle. And then Matt Rule said today that it's not really the off-field issues. There are some issues there. I'm sure he wants to deflect away from them a little bit, and I get it. He's the head coach. But it's also on the field. Like Elijah Pritchett struggled with the basics, right? False starts, giving up a lot of pressures like he did at Alabama. So again, just really disappointing. When you pay somebody $1 million, you expect to come in here and start. So for him to not even be one of our 5 best offensive linemen is a big question mark, big concern. And I blame him a little bit, but I also blame the coaching staff. Like they took him on, they decided to pay him $1 million. They kind of knew what they were getting. They knew they were not getting a very good offensive tackle. So it is what it is. But that's what's going on at left tackle. Left guard, Henry Latufsky is our starter. Jason Machachek. There you go. Center, Justin Evans, Sam Sledge, Jake Peters. Nothing crazy. We knew that. Rocco Spindler, Grant Bricks at right guard. Grant Bricks gets in that 2 deep, so good for him. I do like Grant a lot more at guard than I do tackle, so I'm happy about that. And then right tackle, we got our second or. You have Teddy Prohaska or Tyler Knack. Matt Rule said that against Cincinnati will likely be Teddy Prohaska. So now again, we've been saying for a while on the channel that it's probably going to be Teddy because when Teddy's actually playing on the field, he's very good. He is one of our best offensive linemen, especially in the pass pro. The problem with Teddy has always been, can you stay on the field consistently? Okay, Tyler Knack can stay on the field consistently. So while Teddy might be better than Tyler, they might just put Tyler out there because they feel like he can play all 12 games and they don't want to change that starting lineup, right? So continuity is very good for the offensive line in particular. So that's the offense. Let's go over to the defense, starting off with the defensive line. This was the big bit. Starting at defensive end, you have Williams Nwaneri or Cameron Ledhard. Music to my ears. Absolutely music to my ears. We needed Williams Nwaneri to break out, all in spring ball and in fall ball, and that's exactly what he's done. He's took his game to a different level. He's a different player than what he was when he got on campus in December. So I'm excited to hear that around Williams Nwaneri. He's the X factor of this entire defensive line. If he can break out in the pass rush, he takes this defensive line from potentially being, medium average to one of the better in the Big Ten once again. So very excited about that. Will he actually start? Remains to be seen. You got Cameron Leonard bracking him up. You got Kate Pietrzak there in the 3 deep, so I like that. Then going to nose tackle, Elijah Judy is our starter. Riley Van Poppel's backing him up. So that's actually a little bit shocking given the fact that Riley Van Poppel was the only defensive lineman to get a single digit, the fact that he's not even one of the 3 best on a team. But don't freak out about it simply because we're going to rotate literally about 7 to 8 defensive linemen a game. So Riley Van Poppel's going to play a lot. Like he's going to play 20 snaps a game, if not more. So that's not a huge question mark. David Hoofkin, he's on that 3 deep, so that's great news there. And then at the other DN spot, you got Keona Davis, not shocking. Jalen George, not shocking. And Sua Lefotu, who I really like, who's finally healthy for the first time in a very long time. All right, let's go to the linebacker spot here. You got Jack here, which was a little bit of a surprise. You got Deshaun McCullough starting. You got Jordan Oshoa at that second spot, and then Willis McGahee, the 4th, is at Jack number 3. So once again, I want to do the same spiel I just talked about. Willis is going to play a lot, especially on third down situations. So it's not a big deal. But when I'm looking at Willis right now at that 3rd spot, it gives me Princewell and Manmy Allen vibes, like all over again, where Princewell was so talented and yet he didn't play as much as he should have. And then at the end of the year, we're saying, like, why wasn't Princewell playing more? He transfers out. I just pray that's not the case with Willis because it literally looks like the exact same thing, where Willis is so talented, he needs to play more. Whenever he's on the field, he makes a play, but for whatever reason, he's not. So I'm just hoping that he gets some more opportunities because I don't want him to be the same situation that Princewell was in just a couple months ago. You can go over to linebacker. You got Marquez Washington-Trent or Vincent Shavers. Matt Rule said today that Vincent's a little bit banged up with a hamstring, but he should be ready to go for Cincinnati. At the other linebacker spot, you got Buda Wright, Bauer, and then Jocelyn Merritt, who has been coming on very well, coming off of a shoulder injury, so not shocking there. You go over to the secondary. We'll start off with the corners. Marshall and C.R. Wright are your starters, not shocking at corner. But then you got a couple others. You got Jeremiah Charles, who arguably right now is Nebraska's 3rd best corner. Matt Rule said time and time again with his athletic ability, with how he's playing fall ball, that he's really broke out in a big way. I don't love that because Jeremiah Charles, he was bad last year. Let's just call it what it is. Like he got burned against UCLA. He got burned, I believe, against Rutgers. So yeah, he could be a lot better than what he was 1 year ago, but Jeremiah Charles, there really wasn't a play last year where he was very good. Like he was constantly getting exposed. UCLA, Eric Bieniemy just went after him every single play because they're like, this guy doesn't know how to play football. So again, Jeremiah Charles, he could be a lot better than what he was last year. I just don't love him at corner 3, especially because Amari Sanders right now is corner 5. When Amari Sanders, when he was on the field last year, also as a true freshman, he balled out and played really well. So listen, that's a little bit shocking to me. You get Donovan Jones there, who's had a really good fall ball, so I like Donovan Jones a lot. Then going over to nickel, you got Hartzog, you got Jameer Khan, and you also got Mario Buford, who they don't list. Mario's a little bit injured right now with concussion, but he's also in the mix there at nickel. And then last but not least, at safety, they're calling strong safety Rover now. So previously, last year, Rover was our slot corner. Now they're calling Rover just our traditional strong safety. It's pretty much strong safety. You got Deshaun Singleton, cool. You got Rex Guthrie, cool. Derek Branch, cool. Again, Rex Guthrie, they like to hype him up. Kind of have to see it to believe it there, but interesting around Deshaun Singleton once again being our starter, but hopefully he can stay healthy the entire year. And also should be noted, there's no Justin Rhett anywhere on this depth chart. Not great news there from a transfer from Georgia. And then you got Marcus Buford there at free safety, along with Caleb Benning, who really has come on very well as of recent, which is good news because he wasn't even in the 3 deep in spring ball. That's the reason why he played in the spring game, but he had a really solid fall practice, and that's why he is there. And then, last but not least, let's just go over to the special teams because at kicker, we still don't know who that guy is going to be, Kyle Keenan or John Hull. Now, they wanted to end that battle pretty much by the end of last week, but John Hull had a really strong scrimmage, and that's why it's still ongoing. But Matt Rule said today that expect Kyle Keenan to be that guy against Cincinnati. So, okay, Kyle Keenan pretty much the starter going into the game next Thursday. You got punter, Archie Willison, not shocking there. Long snapper, Kevin Gallick, okay. And then our return spot, punt returner is going to be Jacory and Andrew. Okay, we knew that. And then kick returner will be Isaiah Mozee or Kenneth Williams or Mekhi Nelson. I think that's a really solid 3. You have speed, you have explosiveness, you have guys who have returned kicks at a high level before, all in high school. Kenneth Williams, I'm telling you, man, he's speedy quick. Like we're gonna be excited to see him return some kicks this year because he can definitely bring it to the house along with Isaiah. And Mekhi Nelson, I don't love Mekhi Nelson returning kicks just because when you're a running back, there's just so much wear and tear, especially when you're a starter or you're a running back too. So I'm kind of hoping that he isn't that guy because I'd rather him not take a big blow on special teams duty than not be able to be our running back too, right? I'd rather a guy like Kenneth Williams to return kicks who wouldn't really have a role in the offense anyways. But that's just my 2 cents. So anyways, that's the entire depth chart for Nebraska going into the year. My thoughts, again, some spots that are definitely shocking. I think the quarterback spot, the offensive line all over. You go to the defensive line, there were some interesting spots there, especially a kicker as well. So again, let me know your thoughts down below about everything, what you're thinking down below in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far in the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go Matt Rule, and I will see you in the next one.